5 seconds to go. Start. Instead, today, what is the reality we are staring at? An Ukraine conflict now in its third year, a huge escalation of violence in West Asia, the Middle East that could spread beyond, the disruption of logistics due to war, due to sanctions, drone attacks, and climate events. The world is experiencing a 3F crisis of fuel, food, and fertilizers. In Asia, new tensions have emerged in land and sea as agreements are dishonored and rule of law disregarded. Terrorism and extremism have started to consume those who have long practiced it. In many ways, we are actually going through the perfect storm. For India, the task is to mitigate its impact on itself and contribute to stabilizing the world to the extent possible. It is this judicious combination of Bharat First and Vasudevai Kutumbakam that defines our image as Vishwabandhu. A different dimension of the concerns that we harbor is one emanating from a combination of excessive market shares, financial domination, and technology tracking. Between them, they have actually allowed for the weaponization of virtually any form of economic activity. We have seen how both exports and imports, access to raw materials, or even stability of tourism has been utilized to exert political pressure. At the same time, the power of currency and the threat of sanctions have been deployed in the toolbox of international diplomacy. Quite apart from these conscious efforts, there have been collateral consequences of hard currency shortages and uncertain logistics. All these are driving countries to relook at the working of globalization and devise their own solutions. This includes exploring new partners, it includes creating shorter supply chains, building inventories, and even devising new payment arrangements. Each of these has some consequence for us. What is a common thread to all that I have described, and obviously a subject close to the CII's heart, is actually the importance of manufacturing. None of us can really deny that in the last many decades we have fallen significantly short in this regard. There are many reasons for that, often interrelated. They include the availability of competitive, in fact subsidized foreign alternatives, the structure of our economy, the absence of sportive policies and infrastructure, and the impact of competing priorities such as environment. Let us also recognize that till 2014 there was also no policy leadership in this regard. Not just that, we rationalized our predicament by preaching the virtues of services to the exclusion of manufacturing. The problem is that this has created today three major challenges. The first one is that of employment, especially for SMEs who till recently did not get the requisite support to stand up against unfair competition. The second relates to technology and the obvious proposition that a nation weak in manufacturing will never be able to develop technology strengths of its own. And the third is the consequence for our national security stemming from exposure to those whose interests are competitive, if not worse. These are some of the factors that have driven the Modi government to make a determined effort and overcome the dangerous neglect of the past. You can see it expressed in the PLI, in the support for SMEs, in the creation of efficient infrastructure, in removing regulatory impediments, and in promoting an employment and business friendly ecosystem. Our commitment is both to enhance capabilities and competitiveness in orthodox manufacturing as well as to enter the sunrise sectors of semiconductors, electric vehicles, batteries, green and clean technologies, drones, and space. That is the way by which the Indian economy can leapfrog in its journey towards Viksit Bharat. But we can be successful only with the full support of businesses. So we not only need make in India, we need invest in India, we need procure in India, we need design in India, and we need research in India. What can foreign policy do to advance India's prospects on all these issues? Where economic growth and stronger manufacturing are concerned, our focus remains on efforts to accelerate the flow of requisite capital, technology, and best practices. Our export promotion efforts, already yielding results, will intensify across the world. The use of credit lines and grants to familiarize the world with our products and capabilities will also deepen. There is the larger branding endeavor of the attractions of today's India that will make a case to the world of the benefits of partnership. Our embassies will also continue extending their fullest support to our economic and employment interests abroad. On my part, I can certainly assure that the business delegations will continue to accompany me on travels abroad and that we in MEA will facilitate B2B2G events. However, the current times call for something more than business as usual. Because trust and reliability have become so important, foreign policy is today charged with creating the comfort levels between governments to make that happen. This is especially so in terms of de risking supply sources and enhancing collaboration in sensitive, critical, and emerging technologies. You can already see that unfold with the US in terms of the ICET dialogue that we had and with the EU in the Trade and Technology Council. We must recognize that our economic priorities will have to align with our strategic interests, whether we are speaking of market access, investments, technologies, or even education and tourism. This will be even more so as Make in India gathers more stem in domains like defense, semiconductors, and digital. Stop.